An 81-year-old Beaconsfield man was sentenced to prison this morning for defrauding the government. Gerald O'Reilly was at the helm of a multi-million-dollar contraband cigarette scheme. Despite his age, the judge today said age was not a factor, and he was sentenced to 5 years. Caroline Van Vlartigan has more.
81-year-old Gerald O'Reilly used to live here in a Beaconsfield home just a block from the lake. Today at Montreal's courthouse, he and another man were sentenced to 5 years in jail for stealing millions from the federal government. O'Reilly, who once owned a coin-operated game and equipment company, was convicted last February of shipping millions of contraband cigarettes from native reserves in Quebec to the Maritimes between 2006 and 2008. A judge heard evidence the cigarettes were transported by truck and sometimes stored in the garage of a home on Kirkwood Avenue, not far from O'Reilly's home. The money laundered. There were about a dozen people who played various roles in this operation, but O'Reilly and another man, 62-year-old David Alexander Phillips of Nova Scotia, were the ringleaders, and so they received a heavy sentence for their crimes.
It is a heavy sentence which take into consideration the fact that it was a fraud committed over 18 months of over $5 million, which is an important factor, and I think that was the most aggravating factor that the judge has to take into consideration.
O'Reilly has 5 children and 15 grandchildren, but he was already in his 70s when he committed the crimes. The prosecution said this showed age wasn't a factor when it came to his willingness to commit crimes, so it should also not be a factor in sentencing.
That factor did not stop him from doing the fraud, and the judge considered that it should not stop him from having the sentence that is required by the importance of the fraud.
O'Reilly's lawyer is appealing his conviction, though, so he may not be going to jail too long just yet. He has a hearing for a conditional release until that appeal is heard tomorrow. Caroline Van Vlartigan, CTV News.